My wife Grace accused me of cheating, claiming she had proof but refusing to show it. No matter how much I tried to reason with her, she would not listen. Now I feel like I have no choice but to show her that actions have consequences by filing for divorce. I am 44 and Grace is 42. We have been married for 13 years and together for 16. We met when I was recovering from surgery. After a medical discharge from the military, she was a nurse on my hospital floor, a single mom with a 5-year-old daughter, Maya. I went back to school and built a career as a software engineer, and over time, we became a family. Our marriage was solid. Of course, we had disagreements, but nothing serious. I played an active role in Maya's life, and Grace and I had a great relationship. We wanted more kids, but it was not in the cards for us. Then, over the past few months, Grace changed. She became withdrawn, constantly on edge, snapping at me and Maya over the smallest things. She was burned out from work, and I kept urging her to take time off since we could afford it. Last month, I sat her down and suggested it again. Instead of listening, she exploded, accusing me of cheating and claiming she had known for months. I was completely blindsided. I immediately handed her my phone, opened my laptop, and showed her everything. I have no secret social media, no hidden messages, nothing. But she refused to check and just kept screaming about some woman she believed I was with. Then she picked up my laptop and threw it. That was my breaking point. I left and drove to my parents' house while she bombarded me with calls and texts, demanding I confess. When I finally called her a few days later, she apologized for throwing my laptop but blamed me for being too calm. I told her I was furious but did not see the point in yelling. She accused me of twisting her words, then doubled down on her claims. When I asked for proof, she said she would send it to a lawyer. I told her to send a copy to mine too because this was going nowhere. She went silent, then asked if I was serious. I told her I was not staying in a marriage, where my wife believed I was cheating but refused to tell me why. I've been at my parents' house ever since. My dad supports me. My mom thinks Grace is just overwhelmed and that we can work things out. My sister is frustrated for getting dragged into it. And Maya, she is miserable caught between us. Now I keep wondering, did I overreact? Should I have handled things differently? I have been thinking a lot. And I believe those who suggested something deeper is going on with Grace are right. I just do not know if it is something I did, stress from work, or something else entirely. I asked my mom to reach out and suggest therapy or couples counseling. I do not know if this can be fixed, but I want to try. Maya is struggling, torn between me and her mom. I reassured her that she always has a place with me, but I will not pressure her. I noticed recurring themes in the comments, so I will address them. 1. Am I cheating? No, I never have. I love my wife and would not betray her. 2. Is she cheating? I do not think so. She comes home at the same time every night, and she does not hide her phone. Could something be happening at work? Maybe, but I doubt it. 3. Why did I bring up divorce so quickly? I have PTSD and have learned to manage my emotions. When I told her to send the proof to a lawyer, I was overwhelmed. I do not want a divorce, but I cannot go home right now. 4. Could this be hormonal? Unlikely. She has been on hormone therapy for years and has regular checkups. These mood swings started before her last appointment. 5. Is this a mental health issue? This is what I really think is happening. Grace has been burned out for a long time. That is why I kept urging her to take time off work. It is also why I have not called a lawyer yet. I still believe there is a chance to save our marriage. 6. Should I involve my mom? She is already involved. Grace and my mom are close, and she has been checking in on her daily. I thought if she brought up counseling, Grace might listen. 7. Have Grace and I had any contact only through text? Some days she acts like nothing is wrong and sends me memes. Other days she begs me to tell her the truth. I have no idea what I am supposed to confess to. I am exhausted. I have suggested therapy multiple times, but she refuses. Maybe if my mom brings it up, she will listen. I do not know where we go from here. But please do not bash Grace. She has always been kind, funny, and a great mother. That is why this is so painful. This behavior is not her, and I do not know how to reach her. A few days ago, Grace showed up at my parents' house, saying she wanted to talk. After weeks of confusion, I finally had the chance to hear what proof she had of my supposed affair. She told me one of her coworkers had seen me with a much younger woman. For a moment, I felt relieved. This had to be a misunderstanding. I asked for details, and as she described the situation, I immediately realized what had happened. Her coworker had seen me with Maya. Grace knew this. She admitted her coworker had been describing our daughter, yet she let the thought fester. She actually convinced herself that I was having an affair with the child I helped raise. The child who calls me dad. I was disgusted. I tried to stay calm because I knew her past trauma made her sensitive to age gaps in relationships. Her parents had tried to force her into marriage with an older man. But no matter how much pain she carried, this was beyond hurtful. How could she even think this of me? The conversation spiraled into another argument. Then she revealed something else. The coworker who made the claim was not just a random colleague. It was her first cousin, Shalia. Shalia is still part of the fundamentalist Christian group. Grace escaped years ago. That is when it all clicked. Grace had been reconnecting with Shalia, calling her father, and secretly attending church meetings when I thought she was at work. If she had told me she wanted to explore her faith, I would have supported her. But this was not just about religion. This was about control. Her beliefs had completely shifted. She said I was in my prime years for having more children, even though I am 44. Then she claimed my dad, who is secular Jewish, is evil and that his evil has been passed down to me. She called my mother worse because she used to be Christian before turning away from the faith. This is the same woman who loved my mom like a second mother. Now she suddenly believed she was the enemy. But what made me sick was what she said about Maya. She suggested that Maya was somehow to blame for all of this, that she was flaunting herself and leading me astray. That was the breaking point. I could not listen anymore. She went on for hours, contradicting herself, jumping between wild accusations and religious paranoia. I finally told her to leave. That night Maya called me in tears. Grace had said awful things to her, though she would not tell me exactly what. I told her to come stay with me at my parents' house. That only made things worse. Grace now fully believed we were living together as some kind of couple. The next morning I called a lawyer. I think my marriage is over. I keep replaying everything, wondering how I missed the signs. How did things fall apart this badly? I feel completely lost. I saw Grace today. I wanted to start discussing what our divorce would look like. After over a decade together, our finances, our home, and our lives are deeply connected. Maya's college, our insurance, the house. It will take time to untangle everything. I needed Grace to understand that this was real. She sat across from me, refusing to look at me. When I got home, I started drinking. I could not stop. I kept seeing her face, her silence. It hit me. Maybe I never really knew her. My therapist talks about masking, about how I have learned to hide my emotions because of PTSD. But now, I wonder, was she masking too? Was she ever truly happy with me? Did she choose me because I was stable and a good father figure for Maya? Or was she just going through the motions because of what she was taught growing up? That a wife must please her husband, that she must obey. I feel sick wondering if I unknowingly trapped her in a life she did not want. And Maya, she is trying so hard to be strong, but she is hurting. She was the one bright spot in all of this, and now she has to suffer for it. I hate Grace for that, but I also still love her. And that hurts too. I really thought we could fix this. I thought if I tried hard enough, things would change. But it is over, so painfully, obviously over. Let that be a lesson. Sometimes things just end, and there is nothing we can do to stop it.